Well, here we go again. Me and my 928. Yeah. I'm going to throw some more money at it, I think. Keep it going. We should be underwater in this car within 20 days, I think. I hope you enjoyed the last video. That really showed how much money we've got to spend on this car to bring it back. If you didn't see that video and maybe all the paint is dry in your house, you finished watching that, maybe you could get around to watching that. There's a link up here somewhere. So join me in another episode of Your Car's Crap, Mate. You're a clown. Yeah, no one's going to watch this. Lovely day here in Connecticut today. Anyway, I've been out driving this car and I'm getting to know it a bit more, actually. The more I drive it, the more I know what's wrong with it, what's good with it, and what I have to do with it. I'm also making progress on this fella here, this horrible scrape that the transportation company made, which is a nightmare all by itself. That is a minefield, actually, transporting cars, and I might do a video on that, actually, because people need to know. If you're buying a car in this country and you're transporting it over a long distance, like I have, fairly long distance from Detroit to Connecticut, it's not straightforward when it comes to who's liable. So look out for that. Might do a video on that because people might find that helpful. Otherwise, I've also taken it to a pretty good paint shop, and they've pointed out some defects on this car which I hadn't noticed where it's had work before. So I'll show you around that in a minute. And then lastly, what we're going to do today, I think, I've bought some really good leather stuff, Clyde's leather treatment, and actually got you guys a discount, a 20% discount, which I'm going to put in the description below. You use the coupon code, the promo code JReed, and you'll get 20% off Clyde's leather treatment. And that's good for me because it makes me feel like a big boy YouTuber, which I'm not. I've got 10,000 subscribers. The big boys have got 1 million. Yeah. Anyway, you still get the 20% discount. We're going to have a look at the leather on this car. But first, let's have a little look at the paintwork on this car, and I'll show you the defects on it, which, just adds to the trouble, doesn't it? I don't know. We're never going to finish this. All right, you guys, as you can see, I've actually given this car a wash, would you believe? And it's looking pretty nice. I call this car an 85 footer. From 85 foot, it looks wonderful. When you get a bit closer, I already pointed out to you this clear coat up here. But what I hadn't noticed, actually, was the clear coat here as well. And the guy I went to see, who's hopefully going to be repairing the front, the damage on the front, told me that this is where it's had a respray before, and they've taped it up. They haven't taken the window out. So if you want to get a really good paint job on your car, you've got to take the windows out, guys. You've got to take the windows out. Now, the other thing that you're looking for on the car, this will help you hopefully, if I look at it from this angle and you look at the rear indicator forward, can you see it's slightly more blue just there? And there is a line, actually, if I try and point, it goes across there like that. That is where it's had some work in the past as well. And as I go across, it's not too bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can polish this up. If I come around the front here, ignoring that bit there, I got a little bit of damage just here as well. Oh, it's been done before. You see that line? The camera's picking it up. There is a line just there where it's a little bit more bluer, and that's where somebody's painted it and blown it back, and it's not perfect. Now, you really got to expect this on a car of this age. You just have, it's a 1985 car, right? It's never going to be perfect. But what I'm hoping when we get this done is that the front will look quite nice. It's not going to be a full respray at all, because what I don't want to do is profit from the insurance. I am actually an insurance guy, aside from my YouTube career. Career is obviously completely laughable. with 10,000 subscribers, but you're 10,000 very valued subscribers. Anyway, some of it will be resprayed. As you can see, this is down to the bare metal. And obviously necessarily the front bumper has to be resprayed. But the rest of it will be blown back with clear coat, and it'll look pretty good actually. I think the front of the car will look pretty good. But we've got some polishing to do, I think, on the rest of it. My aim really is for this to be a driver's car. It's never going to be Concours, but I don't think it's in terribly bad shape. What do you think? What do you think? I think we can polish this up and I think it'll look pretty good. Anyway, that's for another video. We will, as I say, I'm making progress on the damage on the front of the car, and hopefully I'll have some good news on that shortly. Matt is going to come back to me with his quote, his estimate, shortly. I don't think he's going to be able to fit me in this side of Christmas, which is fine. I'm in no great rush, but I am eager, I suppose, to make it all happen. And I thought what we would do today is have a look at the leather and work on that with my new Clyde's kit. So let's go and have a look at the leather. Well, my neighbour just set fire to his shed, so that's good. We'll have to make sure he's okay, but I think he is okay. Take a look at this. Yeah, okay, well, that's under control now, so we'll go back to the car. Take a look at this leather. Isn't this the bluest car in the world? It all seems to go though. I'm quite pleased with it, I must say. The state of the leather in this car is actually not too bad. Now, ignore this seat. The reason I say ignore it is that it is a passenger seat, actually, not a driver's seat. The original driver's seat is in my garage and is not in good shape, but it might be a good test base for our Clyde's stuff before putting it on the leather that we've actually got in the car. But the leather itself in this car, not at all bad, as you can see. So if I take you over here to the passenger seat, you can see pretty good. Not much colouring is needed. There are patches of colour that may be needed here and here as well. Maybe we might need a bit on here. But I think largely what it needs is making a bit more supple. It is hard to the touch. It's well, you know, the sponge hasn't, or whatever you call it, the stuff underneath the leather is pretty good. It's providing a lot of support. But I don't think it's too bad. So let's grab our original driver's seat and let's do some test work on it. See what it looks like. And I'll take you through also the stuff that I've got. Well, as you can see, there are 4 steps to this process. The first is the cleaning, and then you see on the left hand side Clyde's leather cleaning foam. So I might use that, or I might use the soapy water I've got in my spray can there. Then, to make sure that the leather is in fact absorbent, and it needs to be absorbent and rid of any manufacturer's glaze that they put on, I'm going to use the reglazing liquid solution in the smaller tub there. Then recoloring, and you'll see the instructions there. Dab it on, work it in, and we'll get to that in certain places. I'm not going to do that all over this car. And then finally the moisturizing. So the other bits that we'll need are some microfiber towels and some gloves. I always like to keep some gloves handy for some other stuff I'm into. And here is the original driver's seat, and as you can see, it's in a hell of a state. And it's another indicator that this car has had work on it over the years. I suspect the seats have been recovered at some stage, but it does come with, the previous owner was kind enough to provide me with a brand new set of leathers for both front seats, which are in really, really good condition. They're brand spanking new. So that's really, really good. So I thought we'd use this seat, given that we've got nothing to lose, just to have a little test with the Clyde stuff and see what that's looked like, see how much of a mess I can make of it before I hand it over to a professional. So let's start then with this lower end of the seat base here. And you can see it's dirty, it needs some colouring on it. So let's do that first and see if we can get that in good shape and start with the cleaning part. So I'm going to try this leather cleaning foam, get it all worked in and cleaned off, and we'll take it from there. Now a microfiber towel. Let's see if we can lift some dirt up. Yes. I don't have to worry too much about this seat because we're never going to be using this leather again. Actually, this is pretty badly stained, or it's rubbed off. You can see this cleaner has made a big difference already. Look at the difference in the blue between there and there. I mean, admittedly that's filthy. You know, it's looking pretty good. Next then, we're going to use this deglazing stuff. I've got my glove on from my other hobby, because that's, yeah, you need that with using some solvents, I think. And I'm going to put it on here, see how this works. Just get it into my microfiber and then go over it. As I say, the aim of this is to make the leather absorbent to water. So we're going to get rid of all the oils and anything the manufacturer may have put on this leather. And it's like a degreasing agent kind of thing to make it absorbent for the next step, which I think we will go and do some colouring here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's working well. All right. Now already that feels different to this. This feels hard. This is already feeling more absorbent. I won't say supple, but it's a different feeling already. Now for the recoloring balm. I used dark blue for this car. Oh, look at that, which looks great. And it comes with, the kit comes with this little sponge, and it tells you to work in swirling motions, so, but also to use a very conservative amount. So I'm just going to try the minimum we can get away with on the end of my sponge. See if we can just be very, very careful with it. You even have got too much on already. Let's have a look. And then we can always put more on if we want to. So here goes nothing. We're working it into the pores of the leather. I think we've got about the right amount on, actually. Work it all the way in. I can still see those stains through there. I don't really know how to get rid of those, but you can see this is making a bit of a difference already, which is good. I think this might dry off into a lighter colour, which is good as well, but it's about the right colour for these seats. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do, just so we can see the contrast between the painted bit and the non-painted bit, just so it's a fair comparison, I'm going to just clean this up, part of it, of the seat, so we can see clean versus painted and clean. So let's do that very quickly. And that's where we are so far, which I think, even just being clean looks much better. And I think this is just helping it. We have to let this cure for 24 hours, 24 to 36 hours it says. And it may need another coat. But I think even cleaning it, if you look at the difference between here and here, is so much better already. And we haven't even got to the moisturizing phase yet. And I want to try that next actually. We're going to choose a different part of the seat and just see what moisturising alone is. We can take some of these smaller cracks out anyway. You can see here there's smaller ones. I'm not going to do it on this part, but we'll choose another part of the seat and just do a little bit of moisturising. See what that does. Alright chaps, we're up here and I've already cleaned it and I've already degreased it. It's made a huge difference already. I mean, the colour's come back. It's even exposed some of the more finer cracks in the leather here. Now we're not going to recolour this because we've got our test space down here for that, but we are going to use this Clyde's Remoisturizing Cream, which is more, as you can see, of a wax. And you could use an applicator. I'm just going to use my hands with a glove on, and I'm just going to put some of this on the end of my fingers and just rub it in. Now it's remoisturizing, and it's also going to leave not a shiny finish, a dull, you know, satin, or I don't know about satin, but not a shiny finish when it's finished. And it may take a period of months on really bad leather for it to really, you know, come back. But I thought we'd just try it on here and see what it looked like with one. See what it looks like with one application, and just work it in a bit and see what we can do. The leather here, as you can see, is absolutely atrocious where I'm working down here. So if it can do this, it can do anything. So let's speed this up a bit. Okay, so that is it rubbed well in. Ordinarily, I would leave it lie, let it as it is, let it soak on into the leather there and have a really good drink. But for the purposes of this, we are going to wipe it off, wipe the excess off, which is what we do after it dried. So I might give it an hour or two to dry off, but in this case we're not going to, just want to see what it looks like. So let's wipe off the excess, see how we go. And it's beginning to dry off. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a difference there. As I say, I think we need to do this once a month in order to bring this really back. But that's a good difference already. Look at the difference between the two already. Looking a lot better already. So I think what we'll do is we will get started on the main body of the car and see how far we get. So the driver's seat, not too bad. But we need to put some moisturising on this. I'm not going to recolour these seats because I've got seat covers for them, so there's no point. But for now, over the winter, whilst I'm using the car, we'll just clean them and moisturise them, I think. And then in the spring, we'll put our new seat covers in. God was one of us. Well, this is what we're looking like after cleaning. I'm really impressed with that, actually. I know it's only soap and a bit of elbow grease, but it works really well, and we've done the passenger side as well. Now on to degreasing. Open up those pores so we can get the moisturiser in. Well, now the degreasing has done, and you know it's working because this is what my cloth looks like, and you can see that it's taken off a lot of the stuff that the manufacturer put on. So that is ready. Those seats are ready for some moisturising, which is what we're going to do now. This feels good, chaps. Starting to feel like my car rather than somebody else's car once you clean out the biscuit crumbs from the seats and whatever else one of the previous owners got up to in here, and the mind only boggles. This is a 928. This is Burt Reynolds. Alright, having stripped out all the richness of the leather, we're going to put it back in and then some. And I'm going to lather this on fairly thickly, so I want it to really soak in. Here goes nothing. Well, you blokes, I have put the moisturising or the re-moisturising wax cream on it. I've also taken the liberty of doing the dash, the doors and the rear seats and the steering wheel. And I did think about recoloring this steering wheel, but then I thought, well, I'm not here to build a Concours car. I think it should have a little bit of patina. And providing the leather's in good shape, then I think we should be okay. Well guys, it's now a question of leaving it for 5 or 6 hours and letting that all soak in. And there is the small matter of a football match to go and watch. Yes, England are probably going to be annihilated by the US in the World Cup because England never win anything. So when I come back I'll be grumpy. Anyway, let's see how we get on. England never win anything. I'm back. England didn't lose. Yeah, they didn't win either. It was a draw, so life moves on. Anyway, this is what it looks like after 5 hours. I've left this for 5 hours now just to soak in. It hasn't gone all the way in. So let's just wipe off the excess, see where we get to. Ooh, look at this. After having wiped down, this is a very good result. Very, very good. Clean and tidy result. Yeah. That will do nicely. That's a big improvement. And I think what I'm going to keep doing over the winter, as I said, is just keep feeding this. It'll get better and better and better with time. Very good. And we have gone from this to this. And just to revisit our test seat before we go, I think you can see a big difference there where I've coloured it. The colour is noticeably darker and looks beautiful actually, and ready for some moisturising there. Obviously I'm not going to bother on this old seat, but pretty good. Well, I'm pretty impressed actually. I think I wouldn't bother with the foam soap cleaner or the deglazer. The deglazer solvent I think you could find in bigger bottles elsewhere, better value for money, and the soap is just soap. I think soapy water would do the same trick, but the remoisturizer and the colour, the recoloring stuff is absolutely brilliant. It's the best I've ever seen on any leather actually. And I've tried a few, including on the Boxster, which was a video I failed on. I didn't put out because it didn't work at all. And I wish I'd tried this, honestly. So 20% discount using the promo code JREAD, all one word, on the Clyde's website, details of which are in the description box below. But thanks from Bert and me for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks a lot.